Hello, my name is Martyr, and this is Let's Play Age of Wonders 3 Eternal Lords. And thank you for watching. Age of Wonders 3 is a strategy turn-based RPG, guys, more commonly referred to as a 4X game. And in case you're not familiar with what that term basically means, it means explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. You usually kind of start off with like a small amount of resources, like a city or a small army, and then you kind of grow into this massive empire and take over the world, guys. The most kind of obvious references to these types of games, guys, is going to be Civilization. That's probably what you're familiar with most. Now, Eternal Lords is actually in the expansion that they recently added to the game, guys. It's all about that guy right there in the middle, that frosty looking dude. I think it's Anvik or Arvik, I forget what his name is, but it's all about him. They added a new class, a couple of races, a whole lot of stuff to this game, guys. Now, Age of Wonders released on Steam May 2014, but the expansion came out in April 2015. Age of Wonders 2 was developed and published by Triumph Studios, the people behind the original Overlord game. You can go ahead and get the base game for $39.99 and the expansion for about 20 bucks, guys, but there's also a kind of like a package deal that gives you all the game, all the DLC for about 60 bucks, guys. Why such a high price point? Well, guys, there's two things I kind of want to talk to you about first off and foremost. This game has a metric crap ton of features and modes. It is impossible to cover all the features in this game in a 20 to 25 minute video. I mean, I could probably play this for an hour and maybe show you most of it, but I'm not going to do an hour-long video. I'm only doing this, for 20 to 25 minutes here. So there's just a lot of features. This is a game that you're going to be playing for a lot of turns. Depending on what map size you play, you can be playing this one map for, 20 to 30 hours. There's so much bang for your buck in this game, it's not even funny, guys. So that's why it has that price point value. The second thing I want to mention is that I'm kind of new to the game series Age of Wonders, guys. I have played 4X games, guys, so there might be some things I might miss or some things I might miss to mention because this game is just so large, so expansive, guys. We're going to be starting off with the options, of course, but you always have the option to click on that top left little button up there that says skip to the action. It'll take you to all the good stuff, guys. But without further ado, we're going to check out the options. And just like everything else in this game, guys, it's just the options are expansive. There's a lot of options here for you to mess around with when it comes to graphics, to resolution, to gameplay, to audio, to controls. All their keys are rebindable. All the options are really there for you, mess with, change it up. You have a lot of customization to what kind of game you want to set up here for you to play, guys. So there's, 1080p resolutions. There is Steamy goodness in this game. There's Steam achievements and Steam cards, multiplayer, co-op, all that good kind of stuff, guys, for you to play around with. There is no controller support. It's not that type of game. You're going to be mostly playing it with your keyboard and mouse. But to be honest with you, that's kind of the standard for 4X games, guys. Now, like I said, there's a whole lot of options for us to check out here. I would love to show you the online multiplayer, but again, that's just a way longer video. We could probably do a whole series on this game, how much stuff there is jam-packed into this game. I mean, there's multiple campaigns, and from what I understand, these campaigns themselves already have multiple endings. There's not mod support, but a player level editor, as I should say, so you can create your own custom maps. So as you can see right here, it says community. You can have basically player-made campaigns if someone made them. Player-made scenarios. There's also scenarios that are kind of like preloaded maps, kind of with their own setup. Basically, you play one of the races in the map. It has like almost like a pre-generated feeling to it all, even though it's also just kind of like you picking up a match and just playing it again. But if you don't want to do any of that, you're like, okay, well, I just want to play a game by myself, or have a buddy with me, and you can play local. You can set up a match for yourself with up to 8 players and then design the map size and all sorts of crap, guys. Look at this. You can change the roads, the roaming units. Everything is there for you to manipulate, for you to change. Like I said, there's just a lot of customization here, a lot of things for you to cover and play around with here. So we'll just say whatever this is right now. And then you can also choose what kind of difficulty. As you can see, it goes all the way from Squire to Emperor, what type of victory conditions you want, simultaneous turns or classic turns. You can choose what kind of leaders. Yes, there's lots of leaders, lots of races, lots of classes. This is more of an RPG based 4X game, to be honest with you guys. So let's say we'll be human, obviously. We'll have a bunch of squires here. We'll hit launch. And then we'll get the ability to kind of choose our leader, essentially, to our empire here. Which I should also mention, there's also different kinds of game modes. My god, the amount of game modes. From adventurer to empire building, battles, there's all sorts of game modes for you to play around with here and that really do change the game rather dynamically, guys. But anyways, like I was mentioning, there's different races, there's different classes. You can, of course, have them all sorted out. This is the new class right here, the Necromancer. Oh, it is Arvik. His name is Arvik the Dark. And then basically you will play that particular hero. I love the way this character looks, by the way. The characters' designs are really well done. The game looks and feels really good. It really captures that fantasy aspect to it very well. These are just the necromancers, for God's sakes. These are the sorcerers. Look at this. This is all... Whoa, hello. That dwarf's pretty busty for a dwarf there. But you get the basic idea. I mean, there's just lots of different kinds of races in here. Orcs, Tigrans are also been recently added to the game right here. Which kind of like these tiger people. They look really cool. And they, of course, come in all different kinds of races and not races, I should say classes, of course. Which you can basically kind of hover over things. There's lots of information here, by the way, for you to enjoy. Matter of fact, if you click on this little button on the top left of the screen, it brings up an entire encyclopedia of knowledge. That's one thing to mention. There is absolutely zero tutorials here. You will have to learn this game either by playing it or by reading this entire damn thing. I didn't read the entire damn thing. I basically just learned it by playing it. It's not a super complicated game. There's just certain things you're going to want to look up, certain things you're going to want to learn. But for the most part, it's a good idea to try to keep this entire thing in mind. If you don't know something, feel free to look it up. There's a freaking search button right there. You're like, okay, how do I compete in combat? And you can hit enter, and it'll show you everything about combat. It's a pretty sweet, encyclopedia of knowledge. But again, nothing is really taught to you in the game. Even the basic campaign that the game kind of comes with, which is right over here, which is the Elven Court. It kind of teaches you how to play, but at the same time, it also thrusts you into the middle of things. You kind of need to figure things out, guys. So let's start off small, and then we'll build our way up. I'm going to start with a quick example of how this game kind of works, guys. This is more of an adventure mode. This isn't necessarily the empire building mode. This is just you running around killing things and kind of exploring the map, having an adventure, and eventually trying to take out, in this particular case, one other enemy lord here who I have not met yet. So there's lots of things to talk about as far as this UI goes. It's very minimalistic, very sweet. You can zoom your mouse out really far, which is another really nice thing I like about this game. You can also zoom in really close and get really good in on the details of all your characters right there. You can also activate your lords here. You can see what items they have, for instance. Like, this is my leader, I think. Is this my leader? No, this isn't my leader. My leader is this guy right here. This dude right here. There you go. The general-looking goblin guy. This guy made me laugh. And then this is more of like an RPG hero-based 4X style game. It's kind of like I said, it's a Masters of Magic meets Civilization type of thing. It's a generic way of explaining things, but again, it really does. It kind of exactly describe what Age of Wonders is. I mean, you have spells that you can cast. You're always researching something, which you can basically click on the bottom left down here and see that there's like a spell book for you to kind of get different kinds of research done, either for your empire or for your character or for spells, all sorts of stuff for you to be constantly researching, for you to constantly be checking out, and then you can cast those spells. So for instance, we'll cast like Spy Drone. That spell will not be being cast in a couple seconds here. But yeah, I mean, this is it's a very hero-focused RPG. It's all about these characters basically kind of leveling up, getting new abilities, enhancing their empire, all at the same time being supported by troops and conquering or doing quests and favors for independent kingdoms. Like for instance, these guys right here, the Dwelling of Foroth, vassal of Iku. Population's giants. They are in relations. They're my vassal. They're very nice. They're good. And basically I can do them favors and they will basically kind of align themselves more and more under my command. And eventually I can have an entire, empire made up of not necessarily just one race, not necessarily just goblins. It can be made up of all sorts of races here. So let's go ahead and command this empire to move out here. I think we can do that, right? This army right here. Hey, you're taking up the road, jerk! Oh, that's not good. We're not gonna want to fight that fight. Now, just like other 4X games, there's all sorts of resources for you to kind of conquer that'll help your empire. So, for instance, this ziggurat right here, it says unexplored mythical treasure site. Explore this holy site for items. When explored, adds 30 gold when located within your domain. Unlocks the blood altar, which you can of course click on. All sorts of stuff for you to click on. There's lots of kind of tooltips type thing going on here. So what we'd basically want to do is we'd want to clear this place out first for us to actually get access to it, because when we enter combat, it's going to let us know how things are probably going to go. I mean, they have freaking dragons. Dragons, draconian crushers, and draconian hatchlings, which basically means that the fight is not going to go well for us. We're not going to want to fight dragons this early on. So we're actually going to just kind of avoid this fight if at all possible. And then probably wait. But like I said, there's a whole lot of different features here to be checking out on the UI, guys. There's our leader on the bottom left, what he's researching, how many turns it's been, how long the minutes have been. On the bottom right, we have what spell we're casting. The ability to kind of obviously hit kind of end the turn, the map. We could also hit these little tiny flags here to activate relations. Always on top of the map is always going to be the next action for you to do. So, like, for instance, move this army or, whatever have you. You can basically decide. It's going to always tell you what you need to kind of do next before the end of the next turn. So, for instance, now we decide to do with this army. We're going to hit basically camp. We're going to hit click and turn. What the hell? Who's that? Let's kill him. Some units offer to join you. Ah, Goblin Marauder, accept. We'll take you, you goblin bastard. Now, again, this is just the adventure mode. So this particular mode basically just kind of allows you to kind of goof off, and just kind of, not necessarily focus on too much on the empire building aspect, but more of that, you're just kind of just exploring around, doing quests, leveling up your heroes type of thing. I'm going to click on this guy, and I'm going to send him, how far can I send you? Why can't I send you this way? Okay, cool. So he's going to be flying off in that direction now. I really love this overworld view, by the way. You can kind of just click on the area. You can see this map is not too terribly big, but at the same time it is rather large. And basically you can kind of zoom in and zoom out and just see the territories, and I think it's really cool how that all works. Right now I'm trying to head towards Belfheim there because I'm trying to kind of tell that army to join my side. Would you, giant dude, get the hell out of the way? What is your problem? Please, move. Can I order you to move? No, I cannot order you to move. I want to show off combat. Let's go back. Even if I have to fight those damn dragons, I will. I swear to God. Before long, I will fight something in this game. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to end our turn, and then we'll probably go ahead and just fight whatever we have to fight. Well, he's gonna die. Now, there's two ways to do combat in this game. There's manual combat, which basically means you can individually order your troops. You kind of enter this particular mode where everything kind of zooms in, and you can kind of command your troops and use their abilities and kind of move them around. Strategically, it's really awesome. It's pretty sweet. Or you can use auto combat, which basically kind of just takes the odds of that particular battle, and then it just basically kind of just tells you who's going to win or lose. It kind of just resolves it itself. Most of the time, you're going to want to use auto combat. It's really doing each manual combat is going to add a lot of time to your game. It's going to take a long time. For instance, we just lost that guy. That's fine. But if you basically enter manual combat, I'll show that off really quick. We're going to explore this this ziggurat. It probably has the exact same thing. It probably has dragons and all sorts of crazy shit in it, but that's okay, because ultimately I just want to show off the combat here. So we're going to be facing these Manticore Riders, these friggin' Frostling Berserkers. These guys are probably going to whip our ass, but we're going to go into manual combat, and we're going to try to win this battle. So again, this is what manual combat looks like. It kind of zooms in, takes you into a different scenario, and you kind of have to kind of bring your armies together and have them fight, basically. Again, somewhat of a similar UI. You have to just click on your troops. You get different kinds of commands that you can do. You can click on the hexagons. You can move the map around a little bit for the most part. You can kind of grab the middle mouse button and swing the camera left and right. I apologize if that's making you nauseous, but I just wanted to show that off a little bit. You can also zoom in really closely here to get a lot of detail in. Now these guys down here are my guys. And you can also see basically the amount of, I guess you could say almost actions that they can take. So for instance, this is Echo the Explosive. Is this my leader? I do believe it is. Echo basically, depending on which kind of, how many squares, or I forget what these are called, octagons. Basically, how many pieces you move. Essentially, I'm having a brain fart. It'll kind of lower the amount of particular things that you can do. Each thing basically requires a certain amount of action points. Is the best way to describe it. So, like attacking, always is going to take out a certain amount of action points. Defending is always going to take a certain amount of action points. And depending on how far you move out, it could affect the amount of things that you can actually do. So let's see. Can I shoot that dude? No, I cannot. But I can move forward, and then maybe to blast his ass. Maybe. Right click. There we go. Blast that fool! It's right click, isn't it? I need to right click. Okay, right click. We got like one of the guys. That's not bad. Hey, I'll take the victory there. We're going to have our troops kind of try to support us a little bit. We're also maybe want to cast a spell here. Well, we actually used up our action, so we can't cast a spell. Defend? Who's this? This guy. I don't really use this army all that much, so I'm not really familiar with all their abilities. Their abilities are always on the top here, by the way. You can see some of them have attack, some have defense, some have fairy fire, break control. Alright, let's just go over here, I guess. Alright, stay there. I'm probably going to get this army horribly wiped out, but I just wanted to show you guys the combat, because it's, like I said, it's really well done combat. Let's try to focus on at least one of the same army here. Also, you can see how much health each particular army has. So this one has 30, got a 32 out of 47, has a 32 movement points, 14 defense, and 11 resistance. Let's move all of our troops up here. Just give you a quick rough example of how the combat works. I'm probably going to die, like I said, a horrible, horrible death, but the important part is I will at least show you what combat looks like, potentially. We're doing pretty good so far, actually. Well, naturally, we're hitting the same unit and nothing is happening. So that's all of our units. He's going to take his turn now and probably kill us all. Here he comes to kick my ass. That guy's going to have a major flight bonus. Oh, there we go. Oh, God. Oh, they're dead. Oh, God. He is just destroying my troops, destroying my leader right now. But to be honest with you, that's kind of to be expected at this point. Let's try to at least take down one of their friggin' units, right? They have so much health, these guys. Can we cast a spell? Sure, we can cast a spell. Let's cast Flashbang. That'll be helpful, hopefully. Select enemy unit to target. Let's target this dude right here. There we go. We did some damage to him. 5 points and 9 damage. Nice. Flanking melee. That'll be nice. Let's do it. Nice. We wiped out that army. Very nicely done. We're actually pretty good so far, actually. Maybe we're not doing as horrible as I thought we would be doing. Or, you know, we are. Oh, God. He just wiped out that entire unit right there. Kind of brutally, might I add. Oh, God. Okay, let's just have them blast from afar. Alright, well, either way, we're probably going to lose this battle, realistically. We're not going to win. But, you know, hey, that's just how the cookie crumbled at this point. Charge. Yay, they did pretty good. Kill them. Yes. We at least took out some of their units. We didn't all get horribly wiped out here. Let's see how he does. He's going to kill us. Probably going to kill our leader here in probably 2 seconds. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, well, that's the... As you can see, my leader's down now. My soldiers have been wiped out. I'm just going to go ahead and exit this particular battle. Can I just... Okay, I can't exit this battle, can I? Let's see here. There should be a way to exit the battle. Nope, I think we have to literally just go through this entire battle before we can actually leave it. That's a little weird. Okay, that's fine. We're going to die soon anyways. It doesn't really matter. Fight, little man. Fight. Fairies. I would say run, fairies, but, you know, what do I know? Alright, you're dead. Alright, let's end the turn. They're gonna be... We should be wiped out in this particular round. And then I'll show you the empire building mode. Like I said, it's just a very vast game, guys. The game does a kind of really... It speaks for itself in the amount of complexity and the amount of, you know, how much you're going to get out of this game. No crap. Oh no. It's game over. Exit game. That's fine. I guess after the game it shows you how you did on each turn. We basically did get just about up to the point where we got horrifically murdered. But that's okay. Let's go ahead and load up into a game that I've been playing for 109 turns. Now this is about a good 10-hour game that I've been playing. Although I love the art illustrations, I love the music, I love the overall feel of the game. It does a really good job of, like I said earlier, you know, it does a good job of capturing those different kinds of fantasy races and all that good kind of stuff. So I've been cheated basically for my first game. I was like, you know, I want to make sure that I get a good grasp of the game. So I actually aligned myself with 2 other factions right away. And this is a large map. And not only is it a large map, but there's 2 layers to it. I forgot to mention this earlier, probably in the last game. But there's also an underground map, as you can see right here, which is also rather large. And you can see there's cities set up in the underground, there's cities set up on the surface. It's a humongous game with lots of different things for you to do here, guys. Lots of things for you to capture. So I've actually built some cities here. My character is the undead. This is where that expansion stuff kind of kicks in. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find my lord. There he is. There's Arvik the Dark. There, whoops. There's Arvik the Dark. He is now a level 14 Frostling Necromancer, and he has a whole bunch of items equipped to him that basically enhance his stats. He has a bunch of powers that he's unlocked as he's basically kind of leveled up. You know, you can raise the dead. There's lots of different kinds of spells I can cast to raise the dead as well, like summon a lost lord, a lost soul, undead plague, all sorts of crazy stuff. This is all exclusive to the expansion, by the way, the Eternal Lords expansion. He also has his own freaking campaign, which apparently has 3 endings. But yeah, this is what the Empire mode looks like. You basically start creating cities. This is my undead city, Martyland, the throne of Arvik. And basically, all of that falls within the territory of Martyland here is activated. So this magma forge, you can see, kind of adds construction points. This mana pool right here basically adds to my overall mana. You get the basic idea. That's kind of the point of cities. Also, my 2 allies are whipping serious ass. And you can choose what to produce in these types of cities, from buildings to different kinds of troops, guys. It's a massive game, guys. Huge game. And it's just a game that's going to take several, you know, maybe, you know, 20, 30 hours for one map. So that's why I said you're definitely going to get your bang for your buck in this game, guys. It's a ridiculously large game, very complicated. I just also revealed the map so I can actually just show you all the detail of that. Now, I may have some of the map explored, by the way, but I can't necessarily see everything that's going on in this little fog of war type of thing. But these are my allies' territories, and they're just ripping the shit out of everybody they come across, basically. My allies are very impressive. They have large tracts of land. Not fair, though. I started off on this little wee continent over here, and they started off on the mainland, so screw you, red guy. There's also Of course, there's a lot of diplomacy in this game. The diplomacy in this game isn't necessarily the major focus of this game. You can't really, you can interact with them, you can trade with them, but it's not as necessarily as defined as other 4X games. I feel the diplomacy is something that, well, it works. It does a basic job of having that diplomacy aspect to things. It's something that is just kind of basic is the best way to describe it. Diplomacy could be a little bit more enhanced, a little bit more character, you know, see them, you know, talking or being animated, or, you know, get excited when you propose an attack on somebody or something like that. But actually, I don't even think you can do that, can you? Can you propose an attack? No, not really. I don't see a way to propose. But you know, it's possible that I'm just missing out on that feature, something I'm missing out on. Like I said, it's just a very vast and complicated game, guys. It's a really awesome game, though, guys. And I'm happy to have been, you know, been lucky enough to play this awesome series, guys. If you're looking for a 4X game that's fantasy-based, that you can get into and play for hundreds and hundreds of hours, guys, Age of Wonders 3 is a damn solid choice. Eternal Lords, the expansion, adds more to the game, adds new classes, new races, new specializations. A necromancer class that has that story campaign. It adds these things called cosmic happenings, which are basically just kind of random events that occur in the game, guys. Where is my lord? I want to see if I can just show him kicking some ass here. Is there anybody ass I can kick? Anybody's ass I can kick? Anybody at all? No, no one's ass I can kick around. I've pretty much conquered everybody around me, haven't I? Yeah, I have. Well, that's fine. There's these things called cosmic happenings, basically kind of just random events occur, guys. Let's just kill all this. And let's just end the turn. You can watch all my allies basically fighting here. Probable victory. He's going to take on my galleon warships. We can just auto-combat that. And we won, of course. Because let's be honest here. That guy wasn't going to win. Do you want to end your turn? Sure. We won something. We got some sun spears and wicked leather of the harlot. Nice name. We'll take that reward. We also got lots of heroes here for me to command. Like I say, it's just a very vast, rich, deep, complex game. There's not much more I can say than just that, guys. It's a really cool, very well done game. I haven't run into any bugs while playing the game, I should mention. It's very well made. Things can get a little bit laggy when there's like hundreds of troops moving at once sometimes. I will admit that. It can get pretty overwhelming how many troops were on the screen at once. So you depending on the level of the size of the match and the board, you're going to want to have a pretty beefy system sometimes. But for the most part, I haven't had any issues with it, and I don't think you will either, guys. So I think that's going to kind of wrap up everything I have to say about Age of Wonders 3 Eternal Lords, guys. It's a great 4X game. Really awesome. Lots of deep customization features. All sorts of kinds of heroes and items and loot for you to discover. You have that Empire mode. You have all different kinds of modes in this game, matter of fact. Are you serious? Let's do this. That's what I thought. Shit. Okay. But, all sorts of different kinds of things for you to enjoy in this type of game, guys. There's lots of different, game modes for you to enjoy, different campaigns with different endings. It's a pretty jam-packed game, guys. So I just want to say big thanks to the developer for a chance to check out this game. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and share, guys, and I'll keep bringing you awesome indie games, guys. If you really enjoyed this video, maybe consider hitting up that tip jar. If you're feeling generous of heart, all tips go to improving the channel or future giveaways. Till next time, guys, play more indie games.